All right, welcome to Accounting 1. My name is David Krug, and I'm a full-time teacher here at Johnson County Community College. And I have been here, this is my 6th year as a full-time, and I was taught as a part-time adjunct before that. I've taught Accounting 1 many, many times, okay? This is my favorite class to teach. It's my favorite class to teach because sometimes in Accounting 2 or in managerial, I always ask, how was your Accounting 1 experience? And sometimes it wasn't very good or whatever, and we have to kind of make up for that. But we're all right at the beginning here, right? So I get a chance for fresh accounting students, which I like. And this is always a fun class to teach anyway, okay? Now, this class period is an important one. Although we're not going to get into a lot of content of the class, we're going to talk about some classroom stuff that will be important. So obviously I'm talking to people at home that are taking this class in an online manner as well. So what I want you to do is take a look at your syllabus. And for those people online, I have emailed this to you. And I'm going to go ahead and put one up on the screen. I don't know that you don't need to keep the camera rolling on this so much, but just so you kind of know what we're looking at here. But I will email this to you for you folks at home. Okay, there is my name on first page, David Krug. My office is in 257F in OCB, okay? No matter if you're a student here live or a student at home, please come by and talk to me. I want to help you with the class, however you need. You folks know my office hours. For you folks at home, I will email you my office hours because they will obviously change each semester, okay? The textbook that you need for this class is this one right here. Kind of looks like this, okay? Everybody have that guy playing soccer on the front? Okay. Now, it's a brand new book as far as Fall 09, right? But they charge you a lot for that book? Does somebody have that book and it's unwrapped by chance? Do you have it? Can I grab it real quick? Because my book is kind of thin, which is a little different than your book. Let me see yours real quick. Yours is probably a thick book like this. Is that correct? And the reason that is so is because you guys have these work papers in the back. And let me just show you real quick on the Elmo what those kind of look like. These are the work papers in the back of the book that are very, very helpful when you do your homework. For instance, this one is for exercise 8.6. in Chapter 8. So when I assign homework, you don't have to, but I think it will be helpful to you to look to see if there is a work paper in regards to that homework problem. Okay? Won't make too much of a difference for the first chapter, but from the second chapter on, I think your homework will be a lot easier if you use those work papers. Does that make sense? Okay? So this is a big, expensive book. Keep everything that you get with it. They give you a whole bunch of stuff, don't they? One thing that you probably got is the homework software manager. Is that correct? We're not going to talk about that today. We'll talk about that probably in the next period or maybe the one after that. But we will talk about the use of the homework software manager. It's kind of a website where you can do some homework. Okay? You can read the course objectives if you would. I know there's a lot of different reasons people have for taking this class. A few of you are in business majors. There might be a few of you who are going to major in accounting. I always have a few students who, as God is their witness, if there was any way they could not take this class, they wouldn't take it, but they have to take it. Okay? I understand. Everybody's got different objectives for taking the class. Whatever your objective is, I want to be helpful to you in achieving that. Okay? I know not everybody has a goal of an A. Maybe they just want to get a B or a C and get through it. That's okay. Okay? I just want to be of whatever help I can. One thing that is very important, raise your hands if you've had accounting in high school or taken it in college before. A few of you, there's like 3 of you. One thing that's very important, and you guys can give me the amen from the congregation. It's a building block course, isn't it? If you don't understand chapter 1 and 2, 3 and 4 are going to be really tough, okay? So we're at this beautiful time right now where nobody's behind, okay? Work really hard to stay up with the class, okay? Don't get too behind. This is not the sort of class that you can cram the night before, okay? it's like getting a suntan. You don't want to try to get it all in one day. You want it a little bit every day, correct? So stay up. Have your homework done before you come to class, okay? Biggest mistake people make is they don't have their homework done and they just watch me do it. And they think there's some learning going on, okay? Now, I can watch Tiger Woods play golf, right? And I can kind of understand what he's doing. Oh, he's swinging and he does that and ball goes 400 yards. Yeah, that's a whole different thing to watch somebody and kind of understand what they're doing versus being able to do it yourself, right? But I always have students who don't do their homework. They watch me. They feel pretty good about their understanding. And then when it comes to the test time, they're going, ooh, maybe I don't know this as well as I thought. Okay? So do your homework before class. Attendance is important, okay? For you folks at home, try not to skip these lectures. Have your homework done before you watch the lecture, okay? Have your homework done. In regards to tests, I'm going to talk, I've already talked to you all about your tests. For you folks at home, I'm going to email you how we're going to be doing tests in this class. That's very important, but just watch for an email in regards to that, okay? Let's skip to a few pages back. Regarding contacting me, the best way to talk to me is via email or face-to-face, okay? If you leave me a voicemail, then I leave you a voicemail, then you leave me a and we play voicemail tag, right? So the best way is to email me or talk to me face-to-face, okay? Now for you folks at home, and I'll talk about this later, you have to keep your email box cleaned out somewhat, because every now and then I'll send an email and they'll say so-and-so's box is full and they can't get this message. So you got to weed through that stuff and delete it so that you can always receive incoming emails, okay? And this is important for you folks at home and for you. If you email me, I will always email you back, okay? So if you know you're going to be gone, Zach, and you say, Dave, this is Zach from your Monday, Wednesday, Friday Accounting 1 class. I'm going to be gone on Friday because I have a funeral to go to. I'll send you an email that says, okay, thanks for letting me know. If you don't get an email back from me, assume I didn't get the email. This takes care of the situation where I have students that always are telling me, hey, I emailed you my homework. Did you get it? And I'll say, no, I didn't get it. And they'll go, oh, must just not have gone through. Okay, yeah, right, okay. No, because what I would say now is if you don't get an email back from me, assume I didn't get it. Make sense? Same goes with voicemails. If you leave me a voicemail, I'll try to get back with you via voicemail or email for sure, okay? When you email me, you might remind me what class you're in. Every now and then I get somebody emailing me and go, hey, this is Jim. Well, I got a lot of Jims, okay? So just remind me what, your Accounting 1, either the telecourse or the online course or the face-to-face or whatever. So just kind of let me know so I can shift into that gear. Let's see. Okay, all of you have a JCC email, though. You folks at home, all of you have a JCC email. You guys know that, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but you need to check that. That's the way I communicate with you, whether you're here or whether you're there, okay? That's the way I communicate with you, okay? A few things. Let me hop over to the approximate summary of the point breakdown. You can kind of see that right there just to kind of let you know where we're at. I used to try to give you real specific dates on what day we would do what, and we'll be on this chapter on this certain date. But I found that rarely did we completely follow that. And it seems like what students most often want is they simply want to know what tests over or what chapters, okay? So there first test is over chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 2 or chapter 3 and 4 are on test number 2, and so on. So you can kind of know, like when we're in chapter 4, you'll know, hey, at the end of this, we're going to have a test. But I'll always give you folks a week in advance as far as when your tests are. And for you folks at home, again, I'll email you in regards to yours. All right? The grading scale is listed there below. For the things you need to bring to class, whether you're watching it at home or here, you need to bring that textbook. I know it's kind of heavy, but you need to bring that textbook. If it's real heavy, I've had students who kind of pair up, and they'll share a book. It's like you bring it one week, she brings it the next week. That's fine, but you need to have a textbook because a lot of times what we'll do is we'll work on something in class. And if you don't have your textbook, you're not going to be able to work on it. Okay? Bring a calculator. Okay? You can go get a calculator for pretty cheap anymore. But go get a calculator that you can bring to class. And bring your completed homework too. And you can see the other things I've listed. If you are a student with a disability, I want to be of whatever help I can be. So please contact me and or the Student Access Center. And we want to be of whatever assistance that we can be. Okay, so you can read that as far as students with disabilities. Okay, I had to put some required stuff in the syllabus in regards to cheating and plagiarism and those sort of things. Bottom line, don't cheat. Okay, don't cheat. I'll get real grumpy real quick if you do. Okay. Are there questions about the class? Any questions about the class? Any questions about the class? Don't be afraid to ask questions. First few days with the cameras going, the people here live are always a little shy, but you'll forget about them quickly. Okay? No questions? Okay. What I want to do is I want to talk a little bit as far as some real introductory concepts of accounting, okay, and what this is all about. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to switch over to the Elmo here in just a moment. One of the things that I did in high school, anybody here a basketball fan, or they play basketball? Okay. Is anybody here on the JCC basketball team? No? Anyway, I'm a big basketball fan. Love basketball, love to play basketball. I went to a very large high school in Wichita. Anybody here from Wichita? Really? All right. I went to Wichita Northwest. Any Northwest alums? No. Okay. Well, Northwest, we had 400 people in our graduating class. Needless to say, Dave Krug was not what they were looking for when they were taking basketball players, okay? But I loved basketball, so what I did is I actually kept stats for the basketball team. That seems like a kind of a nice geeky thing for a future accounting teacher to do, doesn't it? So one of the things that I did is I went to all the games and I kept statistics for the basketball players as they were playing games. Now let me show you something that I did, and I'll show you on this Elmo here. Tell me if you can figure out what I'm doing, okay? You may have never seen this before, okay? Okay, anybody know what I'm doing? Not too many people ever figure this out. And if you've had accounting before, you're going, what the heck is he doing there right now? Okay. Anybody want to make a guess at what I was doing in regards to basketball statistics? Yeah.
When a basketball player would shoot the ball, if he missed it, and then...
Okay, very good. Very good. You're almost dead on. The only qualification I'll make is shooting free throws. You with me? Okay, shooting free throws, but you're on. That's good because most people don't ever get it. What I would do is this, is during the game, let's say player number 12 went to the line for 2 free throw shots, okay? And if you're not familiar with basketball, that's when everybody stops. You go to the line, you take a deep breath, and you take your free throws, right? Okay, what this would mean, this notation, going back to the Elmo, is number 12 went to the line for 2 shots. He made the first one, so I colored in that circle, and then he missed the second one. You with me? Now, a little later, then number 15 player went to the line for 2 shots and made both of them. So I colored in both those circles, all right? What about this one? Anybody want to wager what number 13, what that situation was? Yeah.
It was a 1-and-1.
A 1-and-1. Do you know what a 1-and-1 is? That's at a certain point where you get fouled and if you make the first free throw, you get a second free throw attempt. But if you miss it, you don't get a second one, okay? So in this instance, number 13 went to the line for 1-and-1, made the first one, then missed the second one. Here's what it would look like if somebody went to the line for a 1-and-1 and they missed the first one. Okay? All right? And then what about this one right here, number 15? And one. That's like if you make your basket, but you get fouled, so you get to go for a free throw line and take a free throw for maybe 1 extra point. You with me? Now, why do I tell you all this? And what does this have to do with accounting? Well, I will answer that question. Okay, I would keep these stats during the basketball game. Now, the next day I would go to school and I would find the coach of the basketball team. And do you think this is what I gave him? I said, Coach, here's what you want. That's not it, is it? What do you think he wanted in regards to this? He wanted some sort of report. And I kind of made just a sample report of what I would show him, and you can show that on the Elmo real quick. But what I would do is this is like a free throw report for Northwest, that's the school I went to, versus Southeast, and then the date the game was. And then I would have the different players and their names. You might have their numbers over here too. I would have the free throws they attempted, and then the free throws they made. For instance, Smith went to the line 10 times. He made 4 of them, so he shot 40%. Okay? Bird went to the line 6 times, made 3, hit 50%. Jones, he went to the line 10 times. He hit 8 of them. He shot 80%, and then I might give the total. Okay? But this is what the coach wanted, right? Not that. Correct? Now, here is the reason that I go through this. Have you ever heard in accounting that we make journal entries? Have you ever heard that concept? Well, we do make journal entries, and if you don't understand what that is right now, don't worry one bit. But I want you to understand that the main goal of accounting is not to make journal entries. It's not to make journal entries. The main goal of accounting is to provide information to users so that they can make better decisions, right? Going back to my basketball example, the main goal of this was not just to color in these little circles, as fun as that might be. The main goal was to do this, which would facilitate creating a report like this that would help my coach make better decisions. Now, what sort of decisions would that report help my coach make?
There's a technical foul, who gets to shoot?
Best example. If at the end of a game there's a technical foul, who do you want to send to your line? You want to know who your best free throw shooter was, right? So that it would be helpful for that. It also would be helpful to know who needs to work on their free throws. It also would be helpful to know who has worked on them and who's getting better. Okay? For this example, show that report one more time. The whole team is only shooting 57%, right? Is that very good? No. Our coach wanted us to always at least to hit 70% of our free throws. So what that might tell me is I need to structure some free throw time in our practices. Does that make sense? Okay? But the main purpose of that was to give that report to the coach so that he could use it to make better decisions, not to color in the circles. The main purpose of accounting, yes, we do journal entries. Yes, we do all these things that we're going to learn. But keep in mind, the main objective of accounting is to generate reports that will help users make better decisions. Are you with me? Okay, real quick, I want to go to the very first PowerPoint slide. And you should have this. For everybody who's here, you have it. For you folks at home, I have emailed this to you. Okay? And this is a definition of accounting. Now, I am not the type of instructor who says on a test, I'm going to have a blank piece of paper and say, write the definition of accounting. Okay? But I want you to at least understand what I'm talking about here. Okay? Accounting is a system that identifies, records, and communicates information that is relevant, reliable, and comparable to help users make better decisions. Okay? Now let's walk through this a little bit. And you can come off the Elmo or the PowerPoint. Accounting is a system that identifies, records, and communicates. Let's take this to the basketball example. Okay? I'm sitting on the bench. I identify that somebody's going to the line. So I need to record that. I need to do that little circle thing, right? I've identified an event. I need to record it. And eventually, by creating that report, I'm going to communicate it to the coach, correct? Now, if that information is relevant, reliable, and comparable, it will help the coach make a better decision, correct? Now, let's look at those things. If it's relevant, reliable, and comparable. What if it's not relevant? What if the next day I give a report to the coach and I say, hey, this is for the Los Angeles Lakers game in the NBA that was played, the basketball game that was played 2.5 years ago. Is that relevant? Does he care about that? He doesn't care about that. Unless he's a Lakers fan. But still, it's not going to really help him make a better decision in regards to his team, right? Okay? So it's got to be relevant. If it's not relevant, it's not going to help them make better decisions. It has to be reliable. What do I mean by that? Well, what if I gave that coach the report and I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I was pretty hungover during the game last night. I fell asleep a few times. I had to leave a few times to go to the restroom. I don't really know how reliable this information is, but here you go. Is that going to be helpful to the coach to make decisions? No. It has to be relevant and it has to be reliable. What does that mean? It has to also be comparable. It has to be comparable. What I'm telling you is it needs to be comparable to the way that we have kept track of things in the past. There needs to be a set of rules that we follow. Because if it's inconsistent, it's not going to help him at all or help users at all, correct? For instance, let's say I decided, hey, coach, usually we count a free throw as being made if it goes through the rim, it goes through the hoop. This time, I counted it as a free throw made if it just even hit the rim or hit the backboard at all. Well, I've changed the rules of what a free throw made is, haven't I? And it's no longer comparable to the way we've done this in the past. So is it useful? No. Okay? Back to that definition again on the PowerPoint. Accounting is the same way. Accounting is a system that identifies, records, and communicates information. This time it's going to be transactions like purchasing land or taking out a loan or selling to a customer or buying a new computer. And we're going to record these things, and eventually through reports we're going to communicate those to our readers. Okay? If that information is relevant, reliable, and comparable, then it will help our users make better decisions. Okay? All right. We're going to do a couple more things real quickly in this class period, and then we'll be done. Okay? The second thing we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys your homework and you guys your homework to have done for the next class. It's not too much, okay, because I realize we haven't done much. Okay? But before we do that, I want to take about 3 minutes just to talk to the telecourse or the online people who are taking this online. And if you guys can just kind of sit tight for just give me 3 or 4 minutes, okay? For you folks who are taking this at home, first and foremost, you need to have this book right here. It's a light blue manual. It's got a piggy bank cartoon at the top of it. You need to have this. This is available at the JCCC bookstore. It's free, and it is kept where they keep the online textbooks. If you can't find this, ask a bookstore person and say, hey, I need to get a student manual for my online class, for Dave Krug's class, and they should help you find this. But you need this. It's got the piggy bank on the front. Okay? The other things for telecourse, even though you are taking this online, I am available and I want to help you however I can. It is very important. Do not procrastinate this class. This is not a self-paced class. Okay? There are time periods that you have to take your test in. Please be forewarned about that. And we'll talk more about this via email. But you need to do your homework before watching the lecture. Don't get behind. Don't try to watch 6 lectures in one night. Okay? Now you can watch this class online or on the TV channel, or you can check out the DVDs from the library, however you want to do that. okay, and however you can best visually see what we're doing, okay. I'm going to email you guys your syllabus in regards to test. Let me see if there's anything else. But the main thing is to have this manual, and you'll see on this manual that I have the 5 most important things that you need for this class, for you who are taking it online, okay? First and foremost, though, for you folks at home, the main way we're going to communicate is email. If you aren't checking your email, or your email box is so full that it can't receive any more emails, then we're going to have a big problem. The way we're going to be communicating is email. I'll be emailing you regularly, and I'll be emailing you attachments regularly. You got to check your email. You have to have an email box that will be able to take things. If you have any questions, folks at home, please email me. Communicate with me. You have my email address, okay? But obviously, I'm not going to see you face to face as much as I do these fine people. So email will be the way that we talk, okay? All right, for you folks at home and for you folks here in the class, let me real quickly give you what your homework will be. All right? All right, so what I want you to do is, and by the way, if I'm ever talking about something and I think it's showing up on the screen and it's not, and I need to make the switch, somebody yell out, hey, you need to switch from the computer or the PowerPoints to the Elmo, okay? Or if it's slid off, don't be shy, okay? But what I want you to do is I want you to read pages 4 through 12 in your textbook. And then what I want you to do is I want you to do quick study 1-1 and exercise 1-2 and 1-7. Okay? A little note about this. There are in your textbook, there are quick studies, there are exercises, and there are problems. The quick studies are on pages, for chapter 1, the quick studies are on page 28 and 29. The exercises are on page 30 through 33, and the problems start on 34. Now, this is only something I say right now, but if I assign exercise 1-2, make sure you don't do quick study 1-2. Make sure you're doing exercise 1-2. Does this make sense? So going back to the Elmo, don't just watch these numbers, but know, is this a quick study, is this an exercise, or sometimes there will be a problem. Okay, make sense? So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to do that homework. I want you to be good and prepared for the next class period. For you folks that are doing this online, check your email boxes. There's going to be lots of good stuff there for you. And we will see you next time. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.